So I did get a question asked to me: is who were some of the people or some of the organizations and stuff I've worked for in the past, where I have this experience or where I know about the mass population manipulation actions and protocols put in place. Well, some of the organizations I worked for throughout my life, I would say the biggest one actually is the United States government, and I won't even tell you what part. I am not allowed at this point to tell you what part. Simply that, yes, the United States government is one. I have not worked with any other countries on any kind of tactics or anything like that. But I have worked with the United States government and some pretty big corporations and interests. Not just corporations, but in fact, I shouldn't even say corporations second, because they're not even the second biggest. The second biggest would actually be public interest groups, meaning like charitable organizations. A lot, actually. You'd be surprised how many charitable organizations wish to affect, mass change. And here's the other reason why they do this, is because the ideas a lot of these organizations and individuals have require a lot of manpower, a lot of willing manpower, or at least semi-willing manpower. And so the reason why we have to get you to agree to these things is because, well, you're going to be putting in work for it, or you're going to be paying extra taxes or extra funds for it somehow or another, be it through dues somehow or some sort of taxation, or there's so many different, again, that's part of the manipulation too, is finding out how you're going to word exactly how you're going to collect whatever revenue you need to collect to fund the project, if the project's not going to be funded by you or your organization alone. So again, that's what I've been doing for probably the past, 20 years. Yeah, 15 to 20 years. I started very young. I graduated high school very young. I was 15. I started college shortly thereafter. And then I did a lot of traveling. But I had been traveling my whole life anyway. Both of my parents were already in the military when I was born. So we traveled pretty much continuously. And I got to live in other countries during some major life events. For instance, I guess one of the biggest ones I could put for modern times, for millennials, would be, they'd be very young or not quite born yet when this happened, but the Berlin Wall coming down, the end of communism, so to speak, in Germany. I actually lived in Germany and was in Berlin during that time. I was a little child, but I was there. My parents were both stationed in Germany at the time. In fact, we lived in Stuttgart, and I attended school on the military base in Stuttgart. We actually left Germany because of the original Saudi Arabian War, the original Desert Storm, Desert Shield, the original Iraqi War. Both my parents went to Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, respectively, and then all of us children had to get sent back to America to live with random people, basically, for like 6 to 8 months until our parents finished their tour of duty during Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And we moved all around America. After that, there's a bunch of kids. We weren't the only ones. I don't even think I went to public school until high school. I went to school on a military base. I went to military school. I don't think like you would think in the movies about military school. We didn't have to wear uniforms every day or anything like that. We weren't marching everywhere. Though we did learn to march, and we did learn those things. And if we chose to be in certain programs, kind of like what you'd consider ROTC, then yeah, we did wear uniforms, maybe a day or two out of the week. But no different than what a high school or JROTC cadet might do today in your high schools. So again, yeah, I lived a very fast-paced life so far. It's started to slow down now because I'm getting older, and I want to change pace. I've always felt odd about what I do, because I do like the idea of bringing people together and making all ideas working good, where everybody can compromise and be honest. So the idea of getting into the work of consulting on the basis of again, promoting ideas and promoting ideals that you'd want to be a general understanding around the population, not just maybe your countries, but world population, and finding ways to do that, even if people, you think on the majority, like a lot of these ideas, like the reason why they would need a consultant is because at first they might sound completely crazy to people. For instance, if you wanted to affect change in a certain country or a certain region because those people were being slaughtered on a mass scale or through war, civil war, conflict, you could just go to the public and be like, hey, we need to collect a bunch more taxes from you, we're going to pay for this conflict, and we're going to go and settle things. Or you could affect a different plan to do it and try and collect the money through different means by putting a tax on imports from that country or going to that country. Just as again, these are very general principles, and I'm trying very hard not to get into specifics of anything we've done, because there's agreements and stuff made that we wouldn't talk about them. So it does come across as crazy. Like, these principles are so general in nature, I can't really imagine it, and I do apologize for that. I want to get it as easy as I can for you, but there are certain things I just can't say, and I'm thinking on them all the time because they're very important to get across. And that I should say in itself should tell you how wrong things really are, is that you have people who can't even speak the truth because they're obligated under law not to. The law that's supposed to be blind and give truth is the same law saying, in fact, you can't give that. You would be breaking the law if you did, and we'll arrest you and put you in jail for that.